Welcome to this new episode of Serial for January 2024. Wow. It's going fast, so let's immediately start. I'm going to go back. So Serial is about the photos I took some months before. So I'll directly start with the picture on the left that's using the Pentax QS1. I happen to have it with me here, so it's really this tiny camera with that's a zoom lens. It's basically a 69 to 207 millimeter lens, f2.8. Incredible camera, incredible series of camera. Kind of old now, but very unique results. And as you see here on this first picture, when pushed to its max, that's 12,800 ISO. The grain is pretty strong. The magentas are very present. But the characteristics are really interesting, and you get something really special with this particular camera. And yeah, Pentax would be wise to, in my opinion, to start coming up with a new body for all those nice lenses. Anyways, first image that was in Reykjavik. Picture on the right, that's also Reykjavik. That's film, and that's with one of my favorite cameras, the Olympus XA. There's a separate video about it where I talk about its pros and cons and show many pictures resulting from this great 35mm f2.8 lens. That's a detail of Reykjavik, and that's using Vision 2 Cine film. It's 50 ISO, daylight colored, so 50 in D. And this is an old stock, it's expired. Here again, two pictures, the marina in Reykjavik. So it's really great results, nonetheless. On the right, that's the Rhone River in Geneva. I realized that I was testing this Vision 2 film, but I didn't exploit it as much as I should have, maybe. I've done loads of pictures with greens. Here's the next two pictures. On the left, that's the Jura Mountains, the forest in northern Switzerland. And on the right, that's in the countryside in Geneva. And yeah, the rendering in greens is interesting. It's a really interesting film. Now it's been replaced by the Vision 3. But yeah, I kind of burned that role taking pictures of green stuff. Here's the next two pictures. The picture on the left, that's, I'm not actually very sure, but I'm almost sure it's the Geneva old town. It's actually the fortress, that's kind of hidden in the city, but it's an old fortress. Then it's covered with plants, basically, and makes for a really interesting look. Quite not abstract, but quite locationless. We don't really know where that is if we don't know. Hence why I couldn't really remember, but I'm pretty sure. And on the right, that's the industrial part of Geneva that's kind of transforming, where the small city believes it's a huge metropolis. They're going to build the banks are going to build some huge towers there. It's kind of a political debate, but actually now it's kind of industrial, and that's a picture taken there. I thought those two pictures are kind of interesting, and that still is the Vision 2. Going to Vision 3 now, with two pictures taken with a Leica M5, and I believe the Light Lens Lab 50mm f2.0 lens, this Cook optical design, made in China, but really nice and interesting renderings. The picture on the left, that's from I think it's a small breakfast room in a hotel in the central part of Switzerland, German side. And on the right, that's in Olten. I thought it was interesting, all those antennas on top of this building. Weird looks, but yeah, Vision 3, that's a 250D, so it's daylight, color, temperature corrected, and well, sensitive. And yeah, really interesting. Vision 3 always has this loads of details. Here are the two pictures, still the same equipment. On the left, that's pictures that actually I should have integrated in the tracks video about I forgot the name of the track I was doing, but anyways, it's a picture I've completely forgot because I hadn't developed the film yet, and I didn't integrate it into this episode of tracks. But it's near Alton. It's in the countryside in the Jura Mountains. And on the right, that's Alton. I thought it was interesting, the colors and it's not a grand cliche, of course, but I like the colors of the sunset through a tunnel. Yeah. And here again, 2 pictures from Alten, central Switzerland, a few months back, and same equipment. I really like the rendering. I think the precision of the rendering of Vision 3 film. So with the ramjet layer behind, that's the film that's used, for example, by Cine Still to make their 400 ISO ramjet-less C41 developable film. So that's the original film, more precise because of the ramjet layer. Here again, same equipment, but that's Zurich with the warmth of the film and the precision, and I kind of like, that's one of my favorite film. It's hard to develop because it's not hard to develop, but it's different because it's not C41. But yeah, you need to remove the ramjet layer first. But that's what it renders. Here again, 2 pictures. The picture on the left, that's another room. It's another living room in this small hotel in central Switzerland, which I had taken a picture of the room, the breakfast room. I thought it was gave an interesting idea, very cinematographic rendering of this film. And we're inside, so it's kind of too warm, but anyways, could have corrected it, but I didn't. And on the right, that's one picture in the film was kind of messed up, but I really liked the result. That's in the train station in Lausanne, west of Switzerland. Yeah, I don't know what exactly I did, but obviously underexposed, but that's the result. Going to another film, the picture on the left, that's going to be the only one this month. The rest of the film is going to be next month because I actually didn't scan it myself this time. And part of the scan wasn't given to me, so I only had a few pictures, and that's made with a Pentax T using Kodak Gold 200, expired from I don't know when, probably the 1980s, end of the 1980s, or maybe even beginning, not sure. And this really weird rendering because of the chemistry kind of burnt out. I don't know how to name it. And that's a picture I took recently on that film. So yeah, looking forward to next month to show you the end of the film. But nonetheless, I kind of like this picture taken in Iceland. And on the right there, I'm going back to the Pentax QS1, the small camera with this incredible lens, the 0.6 lens, which is a zoom lens, basically 70 to 210 equivalent. As you can see, the bokeh on this lens is great. Really, this interesting rendering when pushed to its max for the sensor. The lens is really up to the sensor, and yeah, that would be really nice if Pentax just came out with a more modern body with a modern sensor for this really sub compact DSLR, sorry. Not even DSLR, mirrorless camera. When given more light, like on those 2 pictures, same equipment, you don't see as much as the grain. The sensor is really nice. You do see it, the dynamic range is kind of limited, so you do see it if you push the blacks, like on the picture on the left, where the rocks are a little grainy, slightly, but it's the character of that camera. And on the right, the sunset through this building being erected. We can see some of the grain, the characteristics of the lens, but it's a really, really great equipment. It's so compact and definitely something you can't do with a smartphone. Here's the last 2 pictures for the month. It's going to be a little shorter because I didn't take so many pictures with my normal cameras this month. That's with the Leica SL2, and that's with this lens I'm testing, the Pentax SMC1 f1.2 50mm. That was during a really cold day in Iceland. I like those 2 pictures, but I was kind of disappointed in those kind of light conditions. This lens it's brilliant in low lights. It's brilliant in contrasty situations, in my opinion. Here I was kind of not very convinced. I would have preferred to have another lens actually in those conditions, but yeah, I like those 2 pictures, and anyhow, that's why I'm presenting them. And hopefully that was entertaining for you. If you have questions, comments, suggestions, don't hesitate as usual. And yeah, catch you next month for the next serial.